everyone, welcome to Tea Time. Thanks for joining me this week. My special guest probably doesn't need an introduction, but this is my friend Greg Page, our very favourite original Wiggle.
Yes.
So Greg is here to share a special message and his very important project that he's working on at the moment. But I guess to begin, let's go back to where this all started and that scary night earlier this year where many Fit Kids staff were in the audience watching you go down. After dancing and singing beautifully, doing a super job.
Wish I remembered it. I don't remember anything, unfortunately. But look, as a lot of people would know, at the end of that Wiggle show, I suffered a cardiac arrest. Mm-hmm. Had no warning signs.
So you were feeling well?
Yeah. Well, I don't remember how I was feeling during the show, to be honest. But I know before that, like leading up to it, I was walking, I was at the gym, I was playing cricket, I was playing tennis, I was exercising, and I was conscious about trying to be in good shape before the show because I knew it would be hard work. But yeah, look, I still am a bit puzzled as to why it happened. I mean, I know physiologically why it happened. I had a blockage in my arteries, and a bit of plaque broke off and just clotted immediately, and so I had a heart attack, which led to an immediate cardiac arrest.
So scary.
So I guess one message for people to understand is the difference between a heart attack and a cardiac arrest. Yeah. So some people can have a heart attack that goes on for hours and you get pain in the chest, and that's a warning sign. So be aware of that. You know, if you're getting pain in the chest and you're finding it hard to breathe, that could lead to a cardiac arrest. Once you go into cardiac arrest, that is immediately life-threatening. Right. That's what happened to me, unfortunately, So I had a myocardial infarction, which led to a cardiac arrest. So, I went down on the ground. I do remember lying on the ground and looking up at the roof, struggling to breathe, but I wasn't really aware of that at the time. I just thought I'd done a big show and I was out of breath. I was just lying down and thinking, gosh, I'm so exhausted, and that was it. But
it's a bit harder now than the original Wiggle days.
Well, the funny thing was, and this is why I think the guys weren't too concerned at first, it wouldn't be unusual for me to put a lot into a show. Right. Particularly when we played in Denver in the US. Yeah. Denver is a mile above sea level, or 1.6 k's above sea level, so there's less air there. So when we played Denver, we'd have oxygen tanks side of stage, and I remember particularly Denver, we'd do a show and I'd be exhausted and I would be on the floor like that. That's possibly why the guys just thought, oh, Greg's not too well, but we've seen him like that before, and they weren't overly concerned at first perhaps, and nor was I. And that I do remember that. Unfortunately, that was the moment I was going. But thank God there were people around that knew CPR, and obviously somebody recognised that that was not right. Whatever state I was in was not right. So when you have a cardiac arrest, you've got to start CPR straight away. Yeah, and that's a major piece of education for everybody. Don't start CPR on somebody who's having a heart attack because they don't need it. But if they all of a sudden drop to the floor, stop breathing, stop responding, then that's a cue to call 000. First thing, call 000, commence CPR, and then if you can, get one of these to the scene, which is an AED or defibrillator, and that played a big part in saving my life as well. So the CPR obviously serves a couple of purposes. It keeps you alive, like it keeps blood flowing around your body, and importantly, it keeps blood flowing to your brain.
Brain function.
Yeah. So now, after 6 minutes, so if I'd have been on the ground there for 6 minutes and people umming and ahhing going, oh gosh, is he okay? What should we do? After 6 minutes, you start to get brain defects or brain damage. After 10 minutes, they say you basically have no hope. So CPR has to be started sooner rather than later. Get straight onto it. So call 000, start the chest compressions, and then if there's an AED around, place it on the chest of the patient and use that to try and shock the patient. And this is something that we can talk about in some detail coming up, because I know that Fit Kids have done an amazing thing, and Fit Kids have bought AEDs for all of their centres, and that is something that Fit Kids should be applauded for, and I'm so grateful and glad that you have, because more people need to make that decision.
We want to see them everywhere. This is, for me, it scared the life out of me having you go through that. I will embarrass Greg now by saying he's been a wonderful supporter of Fit Kids, and especially the foundation for many years. So to see a friend go through that was really scary, and then to find out that something so small was what saved your life. It was like, we can't afford to not have these everywhere, and it's not, we hope to never ever have to use them, but we have visitors come in here, we have staff, and we have children everywhere, and heaven forbid, if something was to happen, I want to know we've done everything we possibly can to help. And we want that message to be not just for kids. Today's about trying to get this message out to everybody. Businesses, communities, schools, everyone.
Yeah, because one thing I didn't know before my event was that sudden cardiac arrest is actually probably one of the biggest killers in Australia every year. And that's, you look at the stats of deaths from all different things, and when there's something like sudden cardiac arrest, where something like this
can be done.
So it just takes a bit of action, and so it's education and action on the part of the community to learn CPR and to have AEDs available in as many places as possible, so that if you ever come across somebody that's having a cardiac arrest, you know that you can get one of these and give them a chance of surviving.
And the other thing that I learnt was how easy they are to use, and that any of our staff, even though they are all trained in CPR, but anyone can use one of these.
They're very, very easy to use. You don't need to be qualified to use it. You don't need to be certified to use it. You just need to have a go, because it actually talks you through what to do.
Every step.
It's quite amazing. Do we want to go through a little bit of that?
Yeah.
So it's actually been a little while since I've actually opened this up, but essentially this model here, you don't have to take it out of anything. That's the beautiful thing. So you don't need to take it out of its case. What you do is you pull the green tab out, and that's got the pads inside there that you would then open those pads up.
I wonder if the camera...
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what the frame is.
I said to Greg, this is a bit different for the camera work he might be used to, because we're up on boxes and everything else, but...
I love it, it's very good.
But
they're the pads. Yeah, so you peel the pads open from their pack, and you place one pad just sort of below the left chest there and one above the right chest. And the idea is that it needs to shock across the heart. So it's going from the top on the right hand side. And Surf Life Saving New South Wales actually say, think of a seatbelt in the driver's side of a car. It goes from this side down to the bottom. So one here and one there. And then once you've got the pads on the patient, it really is just a matter of having to push the button there, the green button, and it talks to you. It tells you what to do. It's amazing. And it'll say, start CPR, start chest compressions. One of the wonderful things about this particular model is that it gives the person feedback as to how well they're performing CPR. This was actually the model that was used on me, and after my event I got a readout from the machine. The people that made this device gave me a copy of the feedback that was being given to the people doing CPR on me, and it was telling them good compressions, push harder, push faster. So they're being guided as to how to do the best CPR possible to give that person the best chance of surviving with no brain
For
defects.
me, that was the key to this actual machine, and us getting these ones for our centres, because in those circumstances, it doesn't matter how much first aid training you've done or CPR training, it's a very scary, any sort of medical emergency is going to be extremely scary. So to have that, give you the confidence that you're doing the right thing is...
It coaches you, basically. It gives you that bit of extra support. So once you've turned the machine on, it talks to you, and then there's a shock button here. It'll tell you when to press that. That's the great thing. And the other thing people need to understand is it's not dangerous. It is not dangerous to use. It won't shock the patient unless they actually need to be shocked. It won't shock the person using it either. So it's completely safe. You don't have to be afraid. You can't hurt the patient, and you won't hurt yourself either.
So just do it.
The same with CPR. The message is the same. Just have a go, because any attempt at resuscitating somebody is better than no attempt. Now the Australian Resuscitation Council actually say that. So you don't have to be qualified, you don't have to be trained. The idea is get your hands on the person's chest, just between the two nipples, and push to about a third of the depth of the person's chest. It's going to be hard work. It's going to take a lot of energy to do CPR on somebody, but believe me, it's worth it.
You're living proof.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I just can't stress that enough, that for people to know CPR, to have access to a defibrillator at work, at sports clubs. You know, the day after I did that Wiggle show, I was going to be out playing cricket on the cricket field. Had it happened there, my chances might have been different. I don't know, but luckily Castle Hill RSL had
every
that.
community sport group need to have one of these. And I think the scary thing we found too is that some places do have them, but no one knows where they are. So if anything was to happen, it would take too long to find them. And
that's an interesting one, that one. Yeah. So it's one thing to have it; it's another thing to know where it is and then how to use it. So there's 3 steps: availability, accessibility, and then the education around knowing how to use it and the confidence to be able to just crack it open, place it on somebody's chest, push the button, listen to the prompts, and then shock. That's pretty much it.
So now you're on a mission.
I am on a mission, yes.
Which we are so happy to support.
Yeah, and I thank you so much for that. I mean, you've been absolutely incredible. I really am so grateful for your support. Yeah, so Heart of the Nation.
Heart of the Nation.
This is like the Australian Made campaign, I guess, where Australian Made acknowledged people that had products made in Australia, and they had a little logo that they placed on their things.
Yes.
This is a little logo that people can place on their front doors of their businesses or their community centres to let people know that they have an AED inside their place. Because somebody walking past might not know that Fit Kids have an AED inside. And if somebody were to have a cardiac arrest on the footpath outside a Fit Kids centre, if there was no sticker on the door and nobody knew there was an AED there, that person's chance of surviving might be not very great. But if somebody sees this sticker outside and they know there's an AED inside a Fit Kids centre, they can knock on the door and say, look, please help, we need an AED. And you know, it's just amazing how many people, how many businesses, like I didn't know that Woolworths have AEDs, Bunnings have AEDs, and even Coles. I didn't know that before now. I knew nothing about cardiac arrest. There's a lot of education that needs to take place for a lot of people, and together we can make a massive difference.
We want to see these stickers everywhere.
Yeah, we want to see these everywhere because we want to acknowledge, we want to applaud the people like Fit Kids that have made that decision to help save lives, because when somebody sees this, it's a sign of recognition. It's a sign of recognising that that company, that business, that community group has done the right thing and they care about saving people's lives. But it also means that the community can recognise a place to go to get an AED if they ever need to. And that is what's going to save lives in Australia.
Absolutely. And just lastly, they're not as expensive as people think.
No.
So some, you know, especially a company that are thinking and I know times are difficult right now, but it needs to be something that's factored into budgets. And if you want to keep your team safe, if you want to keep your community group great, fundraise for it. So if you're part of a sporting group, part of a PNC at a school, this is something that you need to be fundraising for.
There's so many places that can benefit from having an AED, and there's so many ways that you can do it. So for instance, even in communities, in your suburb, in your street, door knock and ask people to chip in. Okay, so let's give an example. Something like this, a device like this, would cost maybe, you could probably get something for about $2,400, let's say. So $2,400 amongst 30 houses. What's that? I can't do the math. But whatever it is, this device lasts for years. So, you know, it's an amortized cost over a number of years to know that if somebody has an event in your street, you can save their life or try to save their life because you've got what it takes. If you don't have this, you can't help. And that's the big message.
You know, if you're part of a sporting group, add $1 to registration fees. You know, if you're part of a school in PNC, I can't imagine any family that wouldn't want to fundraise and sell the chocolates or whatever it is for something like this.
Yeah,
to know it's in place.
And I know this is a bit of a stereotype, but you know, we think of older people having been prone to cardiac arrest and heart attacks. At schools, they have grandparents' days. You know, we've been up there, we've seen grandparents standing around.
You're not a grandparent yet.
I know I'm not. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm almost old enough to be a grandparent. But the fact is, it can strike anybody at any age. Right. You know, cardiac arrest doesn't always pick the most obvious victim. That's the thing. That's really interesting. So the more resilient we can be as a community, with people being educated about it, knowing CPR and having AEDs on hand, I know we're going to make a difference and save more lives, because I know that what happened in the chain of survival for me can be replicated for other people. We just need to have access to these devices.
So if you would like more information, please reach out to us and we will send any information you need about where to purchase these, or if we can help in any way, or if you'd like to see one, the centres have them. If you'd like more information about how they work, just reach out.
And if you have an AED at your business or your place of work already and would like to become a member of the Heart of the Nation network so that you are recognised as being an upstanding member of the corporate community, we'd love to have you as a member of the Heart of the Nation, just like Fit Kids are.
Thank you. Thanks for joining me.
Pleasure, thank you.
That was great.
Yeah, cool. We were pretty good, I
I
thought.
think so. First go.
Not bad. We could have our own morning show.
Well, we could.